So now that I'm finished talking about the James Dean movies, I want to talk about the Tinkerbell movies. And the main reason why is I have a lot of nostalgia for these. And I feel like a lot of these direct to video Disney sequels and spin offs from this era are disappearing. Not like actually, but it does feel like no one talks about these things. Well, let me grab all these Tinkerbell movies so you can kind of see what we're dealing with here. Like, they made a lot of these. Tinkerbell 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And 7 if you count the Pixie Hollow games, which I believe is an extra on the 3D Blu-ray of Secret of the Wings. So, yeah, if you count all those, it's kind of an interesting little thing here. So I grew up on all of these. I saw all of these, except Pixie Hollow games. But I saw all these on Blu-ray except for this one. I think this one I saw on Netflix. But I've seen all these before. So I remember some of these more than others because some of these are more rewatchable or they played on the Disney Channel a lot. So I have nostalgia for all these movies, and I thought it'd be fun to review all of them because, like I said, they're kind of more obscure. And the studio that actually made these, so if you don't know what these Tinkerbell movies are, essentially Disney Toon is this little side company that Disney started when the home media market was starting to get big, right? And they did start with a couple theatrical releases, like a Goofy movie, which did okay, but definitely sold a lot more on video, so they made a direct-to-video sequel sometime later. There was those movies, but then, once they started doing the direct-to-video sequel thing, that kind of blew up. And that became their kind of thing, and they also did the Planes movies, so Pixar did not actually make those, and they did these Tinkerbell movies. I think for some people think that the same people that made like Frozen made these. Well, they didn't. Yeah, so that company actually shut down, and it's no surprise. Home media markets were dying. It was sad when people lost their jobs, but like the only thing they were doing before their closure was Tinkerbell movies, and I think they were doing a third Planes movie. They weren't really working on a lot of stuff because there's not much you can do with that home media market dying. I think they probably could have kept making these for Disney Plus and people have been interested, but I guess Disney did not feel that way. But Tinkerbell 1 came out in, what year did this one come out? I'm trying to see if there's a date on it. I think 2007. And I gotta say, for a 2007 CGI animated direct-to-video movie, it looks pretty good. A lot of the direct-to-video movies from this era with CGI animation did not look good. But basically, this movie, I watch it, and I'm surprised how well it works. It's not perfect, and it's clearly not made for adults, right? It's clearly made for young girls. But when you watch this movie, essentially the plot of this movie is Tinkerbell the fairy is born, and in this fairy society, you're made to do one thing, and Tinkerbell, well, is made to tinker, fix things, and she doesn't want to do that because she wants to go to the mainland, which is a thing that the fairies who help bring spring together do, and so she tries to kind of become something she's not and reject her calling, and it doesn't work out, and she learns to make up for that and learns to accept her role as Tinkerbell. That's kind of the movie. It's pretty simple. It's only like an hour and 18 minutes, which I think works perfectly for this movie. This movie has a pretty decent score. The animation and lighting effects are actually pretty impressive for this kind of movie. I think it's not like crazy impressive, but it is impressive enough. I think what I like about this movie is the message is really good for kids. Just, you know, you do need to accept your place, and you know, accept what you're good at, not try to be something you're not. You know, and I think that's a good message that really works, and they played through that really well. So I think this is a really good start to this franchise. But I think the more that this series went on, some of the later sequels were definitely better than this one. Like I said, this one's pretty simple, but I think it is a very effective start to this franchise because you understand the fairies' purpose, what their deal is. You get to know all of them. You get to know, like, Vidya does this, and one talks to animals, and one does this, and it just really works. Yeah, and only thing I will say is you can definitely notice the animation being dated now. But like I said, for the time, it was pretty good. But there's definitely a couple moments and shots where I'm like, certain characters look wooden, certain background characters look a little bit off. But for the time this came out, this is a pretty solid film. Next week we'll be talking about Tinkerbell and the Lost Treasure. I'm not sure why I said it like Tinkerbell and the Lost Treasure, but I did. So sue me. Yeah, these are interesting movies, and I'm excited to talk more about them with you guys.